This is the culmination of our long ass road trip, and I thought it'd be really great to be able to capture us on camera, kind of recanting some of the memories and talking about it. So we put some questions out to you saying, what do you wonder about our road trip? And got some responses back. Put them on the cards here, and we're just going to flip them and answer some questions. Okay, let's go this row. Favorite food this trip? Well, if you know me, I'm a chicken and fries guy. So I think it was interesting that in every stop from New York, Spain, Croatia, France, Portugal, even Dubai, they have a slight variety of chicken fry, chicken potato. And I do have to say, though, that the Mediterranean spice on the chicken, the last time we got like a chicken kebab, killed them all. But I think my favorite food always is chicken fry.
Many places we had a great food. Probably a really good Japanese food in Paris, I have to say. That was a surprise to me. Or maybe it wasn't a surprise. Paris has always beautiful food, but somehow we're getting one of the really good Japanese food in Paris. But Croatia's really simple food was really also nice too. Especially those fries are small, like a fish. And anchovies. Yeah. Oh my god, that's so good. Alright. Should I pick one?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, let's see which one. I'm gonna go this one. Best thing about Spain.
I gotta say the food. Food was really good in Spain.
Yeah. Paella.
Paella was delicious.
That's really good.
It's just like it was our first month out, and we got to eat seafood for like the really first time properly. And that was a good intro for sure.
Yeah. Oh, also that breakfast, the baguette with the tomato on it.
That was a good breakfast.
So good.
Tomato, olive oil, bread. That's all you need.
Yeah. Do you want to pick another one?
Sure. The best thing about Croatia. Look at that.
Oh boy, Croatia. I love the kind of rawness of the everything. It's nothing too fancy. Although there is a beautiful fancy restaurant we've been to, but generally the life seems a little more raw and simple. And my friend Thea said it's like hyper local. You pick the figs on the tree because it's there. You pick the herbs on the street, it's there. And you buy a fish from fishermen and you just cook simply with olive oil. There's something about that very simple life. I really like that. How about you?
I agree with everything that you said. I don't know, it's nice to have friends there too. Shout out Jake and Aline for staying with us for a few weeks. It was just nice to kind of do it together. They've never been there as well, so it was a nice little combo that we had. I gotta say the ocean was the best thing about Croatia. Being 5-minute walk, you could just walk out and swim out and whatever it is, do jumps off the cliff. That was tons of fun.
All right, I think it's time for another card.
I got it. What is Aki looking at? So I think this refers to the Instagram story that we posted for the polls. What is she looking at?
There was a giant lamp above her head. That was one thing.
She's looking at the stars, her dreams, the future.
Just acking out.
Just acting out. What's been the best place so far?
This is probably the most asked question.
This is the most asked question. I'll start. I gotta go Croatia. Croatia killed it for me. I kind of nailed everything I really wanted about traveling. From the food to being in the ocean and just really feeling that summer vibe. I don't know, Croatia really captured it really well for me.
Yeah, and we've had time to practice because people have asked us this question, and my response was Portugal. I do like the food, the art, just the general vibe. Once we got more west, there was beach and ocean. Um, that would be Portugal. I still want to explore Portugal more because we stayed in the center of Lisbon, which was pretty interesting, but a little overwhelming, very capital vibe. I'd like to see a little bit more of the interior of Portugal. And that's that. Has this trip changed you?
Wow. I mean, it definitely has. Being on the road and just away from what you're used to, it definitely makes you appreciate what you have. Obviously, my family, but also just the things that I brought with me. Obviously, you can't go do everything that you want or have access to what you've always had. So, it does make you appreciate what you have with you at the time.
Yeah, I think especially coming from America to Europe, seeing how people approach lifestyle, coming from California where it's so go, 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 goal oriented. Everyone starts their conversation with, how are you doing? Oh, I'm really busy. To here, it's, I had a great day yesterday, or you've got to check out this cafe. Really, the lust for life here in Europe is very apparent, and I think
what did you bring too much of on this trip? That's a good question.
Oh my god. Suitcases.
Suitcases.
It's too much.
Brought a lot of pants. Don't need pants. It's just been short weather everywhere that we've gone.
I'll go for one. Best transportation story. So I'll go. Best transportation story for me was in Croatia. We rented a boat with a captain, Big D, mostly because I couldn't pronounce his name. He was a funny guy. He grew up in Split, Croatia, took us out on his powerboat. He would have a beer in the morning and wine in the afternoon. That was sort of his success, recipe for success, I guess. But he would jump in the water with us when we jumped in the water, and just really sort of seemed to enjoy hanging out with people and showing them the beaches of Croatia. Best thing about UAE. So this is easy because the best thing about the United Arab Emirates is that I probably would have never come here had Aki not had a project here. So best thing is having her as a tour guide. Again, my second time around, but all the knowledge that she's gained through the project and working here has sort of made this one of the more rich places that we've stopped.
Yeah, this one is a hard question. I learned so much about UAE through my work. There's many things I can list out, but I still have to say the quietness of the empty quarter. It is one of the biggest sand desert in between UAE to Saudi. Every time you go there, you only see the dunes and just so quiet, the calmness of all you see, the sun and sky. It's just breathtaking. So highly recommend everyone to go there at least once.
All right, I'll grab a question. You got the mic, I got the questions. Best thing about New York. Wow, now we're going way back. This is beginning of the trip, last US city that we were in. I guess the best thing about New York was it was a grand way to say goodbye to America during this trip. We do know a few people there. Couldn't do much shopping because we were still on the road with limited luggage space, but I guess just sort of getting in there and kind of doing it big to get out of the US for this trip.
Yeah, I thought New York was really we went at a good time because it was right when the pandemic not necessarily ended, but it started to open up again. And New York was definitely one of those spots that been wanting to open up. So we kind of caught a little glimpse of, Soho or Lower East Side, very back to almost its active way, and it was kind of a cool vibe. Not that we went out every night, but even just from our little apartment, looking down and seeing the nightlife again, it was kind of nice to see regularity and almost back to what it was. But
Yeah, that was Talib Kweli, one of the first concerts we got to
There
see.
you go. That was very
Plano.
cool.
I start breaking. The whole joint starts shaking like boom.
Okay. I'll grab another one. Oh my gosh. If you could measure this trip, would it be by distance, duration, or experience?
Wow. All of them. Distance is far, duration's been long, experience has been great.
Yeah, the distance, essentially have gone around the world. When we get to Tokyo, that'll be circumnavigating the world minus the Pacific Ocean. Duration is plus 160 days at the moment, kind of crazy. And experiences are so varied, it's even hard to remember all the places we've been to at this point, to bring those things back. Well, trying to capture it here to give a flavor, but yeah, we'll carry those memories and experiences for a long time. This one's every other one-ish. Look at that.
It is. We gotta.
Got some pattern going here. Best thing about France.
Messy. That game was really good. We saw PSG and City. Saw him score his first goal. The vibe, the atmosphere of that stadium, Parc des Princes. It was beautiful. I really like that program.
I guess I'd say, we've been to Paris before. Paris is very interesting. I had not been to Marseille. Our Airbnb in Marseille was right on the port. It was very lively. There were parades that went by. There was a Ferris wheel being built. There was fireworks. There were street performers. It was as if our balcony was basically a balcony in a theater. So while Marseille was a bit noisy, it definitely provided lots of entertainment. All right, why don't you pick one?
What is the first thing you'll do out of quarantine in Tokyo?
Good question.
I've already been plotting this one. First day out, I'm going to get ramen. I've been craving Japanese ramen this whole trip. Gotta say, Ippudo in France was really good. There's a cool one in Portugal, Lisbon. Forgot the name, but that one was pretty good too. But I do crave that Japanese ramen, so that'll be the first thing I do when I'm out. That's the end. Thank you for joining us on this Q&A and our journey.
Yeah. And hit us up if you got more questions. We're definitely going to want to talk about it.
Maybe part 2.
Yep. Peace.
Okay, got that.